we have a very interesting subject, which is what no one tells you when buying a home, which are those taxes and hidden costs. And again, thank you, Maria, for accepting to be here, helping me answer and asking questions.
No, not helping you, supporting you.
There you
That's
go.
different.
Supporting
That's
me.
different.
Thank
And
you.
I honestly, the space here, it's to grow and to learn. And every time I'm here, we learn so many things about investments and about buying a house, selling your house. And I see that it's Friday, so we're gonna start. We're gonna start with a good note and starting this pre-weekend that I see that our producer is very much needing. So
Weekend is here. Oh, but I'm working all weekend.
oh no, that's the thing about being
okay.
an agent. Yes. Okay. I just want to start with the first question that it's talking about taxes and hidden costs because you are very eager and very happy to buy a house, but there are many things hidden that you need to prepare for. And when people budget for a home, to purchase a home, what hidden costs do they often forget about?
That is one of the first things that when I book the first call with a buyer, is the first thing I tell them is, look, the only thing you have to budget for is not the down payment. You cannot forget that there's costs like inspection fees, notary fees, moving expenses, welcome tax.
Oh, yes.
So what normally I always tell people is you need to budget for an additional 3 to 5% of your down payment in order to be able to cover those closing costs or purchasing costs.
And usually brokers help you with that. I
Yeah.
don't know. They try to see your that you have a balanced budget, and for those extra hidden costs, they try to guide you in which way you can prepare for those.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important that before buying a home, you get pre-approved for a mortgage. When you get pre-approved for a mortgage, either the bank or the mortgage broker is going to calculate those extra fees. Me personally, when I'm guiding a new buyer, I'm going to tell them, look, there's this estimate about one-time costs, one-time fees, and then don't forget that also owing a property entitles that you're going to need to have some ongoing costs like municipal and school taxes and insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to prepare for those because right after you buy a house, you get the letters and then you have to prepare for those type of amounts.
Exactly, because if not, you're caught off guard.
Yes.
And the welcome tax only, it's a very important fee. So, and look, the notary, just we're going to talk a lot about more numbers wise, a little bit more into the program, but yes, you need to calculate an additional 3 to 5% of the down payment.
Did I tell you what happened to me when I bought my house and I received the first letter for my municipal tax?
No.
I moved in. And then I didn't know how it worked. And I think those are the points that a broker and an agent like you need to inform the customers, the buyers. Because sometimes they send you a letter with all the information of the municipal tax and the school tax. But sometimes, like my case, they sent the letter to my previous address in Toronto. So I was here waiting for months. Okay, when is my bill is going to come? And months passed by, and I was already owing a lot of money.
And the fact that you don't physically receive the invoice doesn't mean that if you're late on your payments, there's not going to be interest fees. There are going to be interest fees. But there's a way to download your tax bill and your school bill. Yes. So if you have a broker and you went to the notary and you see that you're not getting your welcome tax or that you're not getting your municipal or your school taxes, either call your broker that they can download the municipal and the school taxes, not the welcome tax.
Okay.
But the welcome tax, if after 30 days you haven't received your invoice, call the municipality right away.
But those are the things that you need to provide guidance, because like me, I didn't know what could have happened, and I just said, okay, well, it's not my fault. They sent it to the wrong address, so it must be their fault. But at the same time, there's interest gaining in.
Yeah.
And talking about taxes, what kind of taxes apply when buying a home in Quebec, and how do they differ from other provinces? Because we are very different.
Yes. So here we basically have two taxes. So one, when you buy pre-construction or when you buy from a promoter, or like we were saying on the Spanish version of the podcast that we were talking about pre-construction, when you buy a property that has been renovated more than 90% or has commercial use, you're always going to be taxed GST and QST. So you have to account for that additional 15%. And then the second one, which it doesn't matter if it's pre-construction or if it's a resale or whatever it is, every time you purchase a property, you are going to be taxed on welcome tax. We don't have HST on resale properties like in Ontario. In Ontario, resale properties are taxed with the harmonized tax, the HST.
I didn't
Here,
know. Yeah.
if you buy a resale, there's no GST, no QST, no HST.
Okay, and there are other provinces that would differ, or is just these two provinces that it's...
I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't know.
And can you explain the land transfer tax, how buyers should plan for it?
Look, it is an important fee. You have to know that it is calculated on the highest amount between the purchase price and the municipal evaluation.
Okay.
So, like I had a client now that just purchased a condo. He paid $498,000 for the condo, but the municipal assessment was $535,000.
Wow.
So yeah, we negotiated. It was a great negotiation. So he's gonna be paying the welcome tax on the municipal assessment. On the contrary, if you buy a house that it's like I'm looking for houses with some clients in the West Island, the majority of the houses, the municipal evaluation is around $800,000, but the market value is around $950,000.
Oh my God.
You're gonna be paying welcome tax on the $950,000. So always it's the highest between municipal assessment and purchasing price. Now, there is not a fixed percentage for the welcome tax. It goes by brackets. So the first $50,000, it's X percentage, then, so it's very tough to tell you
in what range you would be.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the easiest way to do it is using a welcome tax calculator. You can ask Google, or you can go to my webpage.
Oh, you have it as well?
Yes, I have it on catalinacamachorealtor.com, and webpage is in Spanish, English, and French. And when you go to the tools section, you're gonna find that.
Oh,
yeah, but you have to take into account that the number that you have to input has to be the highest between potential purchasing price or municipal evaluation.
And what are the common closing costs that surprises first-time buyers that you've seen?
Well, notary fees, number one. It's always the buyer that pays the notary fees.
True.
If you are putting less than 20% down payment, you are gonna have to pay the mortgage insurance that's mandatory, not the insurance that if you pass away, your mortgage is paid. No, it's the one from CMHC, Canada Genworth, or Canada Guarantee. So there is a prime on that. Your mortgage broker is going to be able to calculate it. And those primes are going up.
Oh,
So,
really?
yes, they're going
Why?
up.
Is there a reason why? Is it because of tariffs or
It's
inflation?
because more and more people are defaulting on their mortgages, so that's
Oh,
why.
I see.
So we have notary fees. We have the insurance when you're putting less than 20%. You have, if you are buying and the certificate of location, for example, is not ready, or if you want to take an additional protection for your property, you can pay something called title insurance. It is not mandatory, but it does cover you in case, for example, if there's well, now I'm getting into technicalities,
Yeah.
but if there's an encroachment in your house, or
Yes.
if you have I don't know, if you have a cabanon that it's on the line where Hydro-Quebec can pass and the Hydro-Quebec tells you to move it,
Yes.
you're going to have a title insurance, so that, but that's not mandatory, it's optional. And then you always have the adjustment costs that people don't think about that. But when you purchase a property, you never purchase at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. So for example, if you go to the notary on October 1st, the seller of that property most probably already paid the full bill of the municipal taxes or the full bill of the school taxes.
Yes.
You're gonna owe that seller your share of municipal and school taxes because he's only responsible to pay for until the day that he was an owner. So those, let's say you buy on October 15th and you're buying a condo, the seller has paid for the condo fees until the end of the month.
True.
You're going to have to reimburse him for those 15 days that you became the owner. So all of these adjustments are done by the notary and they're giving to you 1 or 2 days before the closing. So you have to be prepared. That's why we're saying plan for an additional 3 to 5% on top of your down payment.
And you were talking a bit about the insurances and the maintenance. What are some ongoing costs of ownerships that buyers underestimate?
Condo fees, for example.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you have to pay for condo fees if you're buying in a co-ownership. Insurance, which even if you don't want to take it, so property insurance, even if you say, I don't care, if you have to pay it if you have a mortgage, it is mandatory, so you cannot skip it.
Yeah.
So municipal taxes, every year you pay them. They go from January 1st to December 31st of each year. School taxes, you can't avoid them. They go from July 1st of 1 year to June 30th of the following year. So that would be, let's say, for condos. If you have a house, same, municipal, school taxes, and insurance. And I always tell people, put some money aside for maintenance.
Yes.
Because a lot of people tend to say, the condo fees, I'm going to buy a house because I'm not paying the condo fees every month. Yeah, well, when you have a house and it's time to change the roof, it's
Exactly.
time to change the windows, it comes out of your pocket in one shot. So I always tell people, do a special fund. Let's say save, depending on the size of the house, 200, 300, like you were paying condo fees. So when the time comes to do the repairs and to upkeep the property, you have that money aside.
You know what? I'm very surprised here when I moved from Ontario to here that the water heater, it's not included in the insurance here.
What do you mean
The replacement.
Oh, no, because no, it's not. And there's two ways that you can do it. Actually, water heaters have to be changed every 10 years. And this, I had a discussion with somebody on social media when I put a video about that. They're like, no, after 10 years, if you flush them properly.
Like it will still work.
Sure,
but
they still work and you can keep them. But if you have a leakage coming from the hot water tank, and you did not change it after 10 years, your insurance is not going to cover you. So even if you're flushing it,
exactly.
even if it's in great condition, you need to change your hot water tank every 10 years. And no, that's not included in the insurance. And you can do it two ways. You can buy your hot water tank and change it every 10 years.
It's like $800, right?
Yes, it's like $800 depending on the capacity, but yes, it's like $800. Or the other thing that you can do is you can lease it from companies such as Hydro Solutions, and yes, you pay a monthly fee, so a monthly fee of $15 to $18.
Oh, but it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. After 10 years, if you add that, it's way more than $800. It's probably the double.
Yes.
But the good thing is that if your hot water tank, something happens on the 31st of December at 11 p.m., you call Hydro Solutions and they come and they fix it. If you own the hot water tank, yes, you pay less, but it's any repair, you have to do it. Any problem you have when you're leasing it, you just call, and when they installed you the hot water tank, they take care of removing the old hot water tank. So it's important every 10 years to change your hot water tank and advise your insurance, because your premium for the insurance can come down when you call them and tell them, I changed my hot water tank.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Good to know, because I
you
know
save money.
I know that in Ontario, the home insurance, they cover the water tank.
Not here.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, but yeah, those are the things that we need to know when we're moving provinces. Those are the little things that the luxury from others we might not have it here. And in case of new construction, what additional taxes and costs apply to that buyers may not be anticipating?
GST and QST.
Yeah,
you have
that's
your
the only one.
Yeah, your additional 15%.
Oof.
Welcome home. Welcome to your new home.
But you know what? I'm pretty unease with the welcome tax, because it's only in Quebec. But why is the reason?
Look, that famous welcome tax that we're translating, just for a little story here, it's translated from la taxe des bienvenus. It's not because it's welcome to your house, it's because the politician that passed the law was Monsieur Bienvenu. So Monsieur Bienvenu named the tax. It was supposed to be a temporary tax. But when they saw the amount of money that it generates, they made it a permanent tax. And a lot of infrastructure and a lot of things get financed with the land. It's actually, the proper term is the land transfer tax. And I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
Really?
Yeah, no. The municipalities raise so much money from the welcome tax. So much. There's no way you can avoid it.
But is it necessary, or?
Well, yeah, they need money to make infrastructure, to pay subsidies, to then we're not gonna get into politics, but they need municipalities always need money, and this is a great, and it's a very way to collect it. It's easy. You go to the notary, it's very easy to track.
Yes. And talking about inspections that we were talking a bit earlier, how do inspections cost and potential repairs after inspections affect a buyer's budget?
So inspections can vary between, depending on the type of property, but they're between $500 and $800. After every inspection, I've never seen an inspection where there's nothing to fix. There's always things to fix. Of course, there's tiny things sometimes, little adjustments here and there, but depending on how much the type of property and what they find, it could be a significant cost, or it could be. But I'm gonna say that plan for. In the best case scenario, plan for $500 of repairs, little things here and there, like, for example, caulking around bathtubs, around sources of water. It's normally always going to come up. little GFCI electrical outlets close to water
Yes.
sources that are not there.
I don't know if because I know we talked a bit about inspections. I don't know if it was in your English podcast or the Spanish one, but I think on this one I think it'll be very important to highlight the two types of inspections that you can have.
Meaning houses and condos, or meaning?
No, the one that you said when they go deeper into, like, for example, inspection of foundation, inspection of humidity, like those type of inspections that usually when you are going to buy a house and you are going to hire an inspector, they don't go as through as
Look,
other inspections.
Pre-inspections, they cannot be invasive, meaning the inspector is not allowed to open walls. It's not they're not allowed to make holes on the property. So it's what we call a visual inspection. Now they are, depending on the inspector, they are allowed to open electrical panels, for example, and depending on the inspector again, they are allowed or not to use humidity detectors. Not all inspectors are allowed. You need to have
really?
you need to. So it's important to ask your inspector when you're booking the inspection.
Yeah.
But soon.
But that's a very important fact.
Yes, and
Yeah.
soon, but I think it's in 2026, if in 2026 or 2027, there is gonna be a very strict procedure and codes that for inspectors, because now pretty much anyone can be an inspector.
Okay.
So that's one thing. It's important to ask your inspector if they can open electrical panels, if they can use the humidity detectors, because not all of them can. Now, another thing, so if there's things that are revealed during that visual inspection and the inspectors suggest to go further, then you have what we call the expert reports.
Okay.
There, the seller has to be in agreement if you need, for example, to make holes, to take little samples or things like that. Now, another thing that you have to take into account is when you buy in a co-ownership, a condo. In big towers or big buildings, you can't do what I'm gonna say, but when you're buying in a small duplex, triplex, fourplex, there's two types of inspections that you can do. You can either just limit the inspection to the private portion, meaning the condo that you're buying, or you can do an inspection of the full building. And that, it's way more expensive, but if you're buying in a duplex or triplex,
it would make
I
sense to do it.
definitely tell my clients to not limit the inspection to the private portion. Go see the foundation, go see the roof, go see, so that it is very important to inspect, because the share that of your condo is going to be probably 30%, 33, 40%. So if there's an issue with foundations, with roof or whatever, that bill is going to be high. If you are buying in 10 units or more, actually the inspectors are not allowed to, the scope of their permit doesn't allow them to do a full building inspection.
Why is that? Why do they limit themselves to?
Because that requires additional knowledge, because it's there it's considered commercial.
Yes.
So, but if you're, I believe it's from 4 or 6 units and down, they are allowed to do the full building inspection.
Interesting. And talking about, we were circle back to the financial costs and how can we prepare to those hidden costs? What strategies can buyers use to prepare financially for these hidden expenses and avoid last minute stresses?
Budget. Budget. Very important to budget. Ask your real estate broker, the one that's helping you, can you please prepare me a small Excel in which you tell me what are the closing costs, an estimate, of course, because we can't give you exact numbers, depending on the inspector you choose, depending on the notary you choose, depending on the date you go to the notary. But they can prepare you a small Excel, and that's what I do with my buyers. I tell them, look, you're looking to this closing costs, and then when you become an owner, you're looking at this recurring costs. Everything is estimated, but that's going to give you an idea. And that way, my clients, when they go to the notary and they sign, they're not like, oh, I didn't know about the welcome tax. They're never surprised. They are prepared. Good. They know how much they're going to have to pay for the insurance when the notary asks for the insurance. They know they're going to have to pay for the adjustments. And the same thing when they're selling. I do it for both buyers and sellers. It's an estimate, but it's going to give you, it's important to have it in your budget.
To be honest, that shows the type of management and service that people get from you, and it says a lot. Like, I wish I would have known you before I bought my house.
When you sell your house and you buy
of course, because it's a very different experience.
Yes, I know, and look, and I do this not only because I am a broker, it's because I have been on the other side. I've been a client. And I've had those surprises, and I've had those, I've had to budget last minute. So all of those things happen to me. So I try to give my client the same service that I would have expected or that I would have wished I had received.
Amazing. And if you had one piece of advice to buyers, what is the most important hidden cost that they would absolutely must plan to?
The welcome tax. The welcome tax. Do a calculation, because it's a big look. If you buy a $500,000 condo, the bill is about $6,000.
Yes.
And you get it in the mail about 30 days after you sign at the notary,
and
they give you 30 days to pay.
Yes.
And there's they don't give you like installments, nothing. It's a one shot. So pretty much about 60 days after you go to the notary, you're going to have to pay for that welcome tax. So it's very important. And I always tell that to my clients, because there's nothing worse than, I have my keys, but then when the notary, because when they read the deed of sale, they tell you, expect to pay this amount. Imagine if you're buying a $500,000 condo.
That's what I was gonna say. Because
and they tell you have to pay $6,000 in.
I think it's more than that. It's more than that.
It's a little bit.
Yes.
It could be a little bit more than that, but it's about, for $500,000, it's about $6,000, and they hire the property. They hire the price of the property. They hire, because like I said, it goes by brackets, and the percentage goes up with the value of the property.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because with the economy today, we won't see prices of properties how we used to and like 5 years ago. So it will always go up, and those brackets they will increase.
And they have increased. When I started doing real estate 15 years ago, there was like 3 brackets.
Oh.
And now we're at like 4 or 5.
Yes,
so they keep adding.
5.
They keep adding extras, because the cities, again, they know how much money they're getting from that.
Oh my God.
So it's been increasing and increasing with time. So I don't see it going down. So yes,
we need to prepare.
Yeah, we need to prepare. And before you buy a house, it's not just about, again, like I say, it's not just about the down payment. It's about closing costs, and it's also about maintenance and recurring cost every single year. So plan, like I said, for an additional 3 to 5% on top of your down payment.
And I think not just that, it's see the person that knows best and that will take care of you through the whole process.
Yeah. If you have a good mortgage broker and if you have a good real estate agent, there's no surprises. And a good mortgage broker, for example, is also going to tell you that you can buy, let's say, a property, let's say it's a condo, you can buy up to this amount, and the condo fees shouldn't be more than X amount. So
Okay,
a good
so
mortgage
he'll
broker
prepare
is
you for
gonna,
that.
yes.
Amazing.
Now, like I say again, before we finish this, don't go for the co-ownerships with the lowest condo fees. Because that normally means there's a red flag, there's problems coming, especially with the new Law 16.
Yes.
That I think we should definitely do an episode of Law 16, because when people are
should.
buying condos, they don't know what they're getting into. It's not to scare
true.
you. I personally own condos only, not houses, but there's a lot of things you need to prepare for and that you need to watch for.